The Great Resignation is a terminology of a collective movement that we are seeing happening as people turn away from more traditional models of employment, looking into the systems and structures that are no longer working for them and finding new ways to exist in the world outside of the traditional environments that we have been conditioned to believe are all that is possible for us. It is an important conversation. It is what I believe to be the beginning of the new way of how we might find ourselves living and existing in the world as humans who are trying to find a new way around capitalism. And it is one that came up in the group the other day, the League of Extraordinary Introverts, where these lives all take place. And especially with regards to introverts who are more business-minded, what does the Great Resignation look like for us? I'm just going to recap the question because I think it's such an important one, such a great one, and I'm super excited to dive into this topic a little bit today. So Donna said, I would love to hear your thoughts on how the Great Resignation looks for business-minded introverts. I made the leap to cut ties with my biggest client to create time and space to contemplate and plan the next phase. Maybe it's something new and different, or something that transforms personal passion into a business, at least some sort of pivot. We tend to gravitate towards routine, but maybe there are others feeling the need to change it up for ourselves in these times. Janelle also jumped in and said, I would love to also hear about on this topic, supplementing business with contract work. No one else I've come across has mentioned this explicitly but you. As we are saying goodbye to this year and starting to move into 2022, we have absolutely no idea what the year has in store for us. And I know this time last year, there was a lot of hope that what we've been going through in 2020 would just be over as soon as the year ended. And I know for so many people, that was just absolutely not the case this year. Everyone has been on their own personal journey and had their own challenges and experiences to deal with. And so this is a really great topic, I think, coming into the end of the year and starting to think about what do we want our 2022 to look like. My first thought is that for so many of us, those of us who are more introverted, those of us who are highly sensitive, people who are in any way dealing with things that the mainstream, what we have been conditioned to believe is the norm, those who hold more marginalized identities, people who have mental illness or hidden physical disabilities that the world ignores, and not hidden ones as well. Let's face it, the more that we start to unravel all of the mainstream of like the way that it should be or the way that it has been for so long to benefit so many people, that there are just so many more who are disadvantaged by that. And so I think in a world in the last couple of years where we have had to reevaluate what that looks like, where we have been forced as business owners, as humans in the world, as parents, as friends, as partners, as organizations and employees, all of the different things, we have been forced to change the way that we have just accepted that life should always be. I know for those of us who are more introverted, who are more highly sensitive, definitely have had times in our lives where we have felt the need to change or hide parts of who we are in order to fit in with the status quo. I know this goes 100-fold for people who hold more marginalized identities. You know, whether it comes to people who have different brains that work differently and have had to learn to mask the way that they function in the world in order to fit in, people who are Black, Indigenous, and people of color who have had to change and adapt their personalities or their way of being in the world because of white supremacy. There are so many people who have always had to change and adapt to who they are in order to fit in, get by, be seen in a different way. And I think in 2020, 2021, in being inside, in not having to go out into the world or being forced to not be able to go out into the world. This has given so many of us an opportunity to be who we are without the masking, without the performing, without having to fit in or be a certain way in order to be socially acceptable by our co-workers, our friends, the people in our family, and just random people that we are coming into contact with on a daily basis. What we have seen is an ability to actually take all of those masks off. And as a result of that, that is what I think, and capitalism, and like, let's not get into that because I will literally talk about it all day, that has worn us down, being labor focused, being people who have to work within, be another cog in the system. And with this new understanding of being exactly who we are, has led to what we've seen in the news, on social media, in the workplace, this term that has been coined, the Great Resignation. And so what we're seeing, I think, is a result of people actually having time to reevaluate what they love, what they're interested in, what makes them happy, and what they really want in their lives, instead of just going along with the way that it's always been, following the steps that have been paved for them, and actually starting to look into, what is it that I am interested in? What is it that I love? What is it about this job that is making me so unhappy? And what do I need to do to change that? I have an opportunity here, while everything is already a mess, to start looking for other options. And so, of course, that is why we're seeing this shift with the Great Resignation. We are seeing employees who just are saying, that is enough. I have been treated like a worker bee for too long. I have been treated like a cog in the wheel for too long. My value in this world is more than my output. It is more than the labor that I am being paid an hourly rate to contribute. Just seeing people who jumped on TikTok in 2020 because they were bored and they were at home, and who have now millions of followers and have completely changed their lives and created their own way of creating an income to live on, that has meant they've been able to not work they go back to their jobs after life started returning to normal. I mean, that's just one example that we're seeing. And of course, there's going to be a ripple effect of that on our businesses, on the way that we're reevaluating, for those of us who are business-minded, as Donna referred to it, that she had decided to not continue on working with someone that she'd been doing work with. And I think we're coming to a point where we realize that money isn't the answer to everything. What we're being invited to do, as much as there is so much going on, and my heart is so much with people who have had a really, really challenging year. And so this is not a make a decision right now, put more stress on your nervous system and just change everything. But for when we are in a place where we're able to actually take a step back, take a breather, and reevaluate what really matters to us, we're actually starting to get an idea that the stories we've been told, the things we have been conditioned to believe are what success should look like, how many hours a week you should be working, what your day-to-day should be, how you need to function in your own business in order to be successful or appear successful on social media, that all of that is just another mask that we are putting on. This is what the world wants me to be. We're seeing it happen all over the internet, all over social media. We've been seeing it for a long time. And I think we've been starting to crumble and come out of this idea of that perfect Instagram grid and that curated life that we're seeing online, or have been seeing online, that rags to riches story, the 6 figures in 6 months, all of the things that I'm constantly banging on about, and actually starting to understand and move into a new way of believing that business should be, which is, what makes me happy? What is success to me? Do these things that I'm being told I want, do they actually, or are they actually in alignment with what I truly want, with what my heart and my soul and my purpose is asking of me right now? And so to bring that back around to Donna's original question or thought process, is that this is the time that we can take that step back and ask those questions and make decisions that are not based out of fear, that they're not based out of urgency and scarcity, that they're not based on how much money we may lose or make or whatever that might be, but they're actually more in alignment with who we are, with our energy, with the big vision that we have for the work that we're here to do, and the people that we want to surround ourselves with, and the on-flow effect that we want, the money that we're bringing into our business, where we want that to flow into next. All of those things that you will have heard me talk about a million times already. We are getting the opportunity, we have had the opportunity to peel off some of those masks, to be so much closer and more connected with who we are over the last couple of years, by not needing to be out in the world being something for everybody else. And now we have the opportunity to look at our business, to look at the opportunities we're saying yes to look at the things that aren't bringing us joy and happiness, and to start shifting our mindset away from this scarcity model that we have been really pushed into and grown up with, so many of us. And actually having a chance to say, what if it could be different? What if I could find a better way? What if by saying no to this client, even though they are going to bring a significant amount of money into my business, or they are bringing a significant amount of money into my business, by saying yes to that, I'm saying no to something so much better. But the fear of, this is what I know and this is what is certain, versus I don't know what other opportunities are out there, has always been so, for so many of us, the known is so much safer. And we have lived within having to manage our nervous systems and regulate our energy in the last couple of years, to the point where I actually think we've started to expand our comfort zones a little bit. We've started to really go into the things that are activating or upsetting our nervous systems. We've had to start doing things like healing ourselves and have difficult conversations and start to understand ourselves so much better. And so it's such an amazing opportunity to actually go, well, okay, I've already gone through all of this. What is saying no to this going to open a door for me? What is the next thing? If I say no to this, if I let go of this job, if I let go of this client or this opportunity, what is possible in all of this unknown, in the mystery of what I don't know, of what I've been saying no to out of fear, out of scarcity. And now I have the opportunity to step into something so much better. So that is my thoughts on that. I know it is a big conversation, and to actually be having that in a very small amount of time is difficult to do. There's so many nuances and so much more that we can talk about in regards to that. What Janelle mentioned was about this idea of taking on work when you might need to supplement your business income. Again, in masking, in hiding who we truly are, in presenting that version of success that we've all believed is the only way to be, we have had to hide parts of ourselves. We have been taught that it is not okay to have a secondary income or a stable foundation of income to support yourself while you're building your business, while you're finding your first clients, while you're starting to create some consistency in your business income, without putting pressure on this baby business. Or even if it's an established business, like, it's a roller coaster, it's an ebbs and flows situation. And some months and some years are excellent, and other times they are not so great. And we have been taught that you should decide to to start a business, and then you should quit your job, and then your business should support you. And this is a much, much bigger conversation, and I have some really big thoughts on it. And so I will definitely talk about this at a later date. But I just want to use this as an example of what are you resigning from in 2022? What are you going to stop buying into? And what are you going to say, you know what? I'm done with that. I'm done with faking it till I make it. I'm done with hiding parts of myself online or in my friend groups or with my community or whatever that might be, in order to be more palatable, in order to fit in more, in order to be more socially acceptable based on this status quo mainstream idea of who I'm supposed to be in the world. So that is my question for you. What are you ready to let go of? What has fear taught you that you need to be a certain way or show up in a certain way that you are saying no to by allowing that to be the face that you present to the world? Because I can guarantee you that if you've been hiding parts of yourself to come across a certain way on social media, that you are missing out on incredible opportunities for connection and new clients and calling in your perfect people to come and work with you or be a part of your community or whatever that might be, because the people who love you will love you for all of those parts, and they will love you deeply for them. And so if you feel the need to hide who you are in order to show up in your business, if you feel the need to say yes to work that is outside of what you've been doing in terms of like, oh, my business is this, so now I can only do this. Like, sort yourself out first. Take care of you first. Don't put pressure on your business to support itself and you. If you need to take extra work, if you need to find another solution or an alternative, that is not a bad thing. In fact, it is so much more sustainable. It is so much more doable to not have to be stressing about whether this business is making money right now. It then allows you to be able to be creative, to have space, to be able to step back and see the bigger picture, to be coming from that energy of joy and passion and curiosity and adventure, to be putting out offers that are coming from that place versus fear and, oh my gosh, if I don't get a new client this month, I can't pay my rent and all of those things. So I'm going to just ask you one more time. What are you resigning from this year? What will you not be carrying with you into 2022, whether it's a part of yourself you've been hiding, whether it's a fear or something that you have been letting get in the way of being who you truly are? Who are you letting go of? Which clients or opportunities that you have been begrudgingly showing up for are you going to let go of to make way for and start looking for those bigger and better possibilities? I would love to hear from you. Please let me know in the comments below what you're letting go of. I think we can have an amazing conversation about this if you are finding a way to navigate working and having a business and doing all of those things. I would love to hear from you as well. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave it a like and don't forget to subscribe so you get notified every time I have a new video coming up. I have some really exciting stuff coming in the new year and I cannot wait to share it with you. Thank you so much for being here this year, and I look forward to connecting with you in 2022.